When writing mathematical expressions, especially the more complex ones, you need to take into account the order or priority of operators. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to declare a variable called x and set it to 1 plus 2 times 3. Now, let's print x on the console. What do you think we're going to get? Pause the video and think about it for a second. The answer is 7. This is a very simple math question, but unfortunately, a lot of people get it wrong. Here's the reason. In math, the multiplication and division operators have a higher order or a higher priority. So when evaluating this piece of code or this expression, first, this part is evaluated. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then 6 is added to 1. So the result is 7. Let's verify it. So I'm going to run the program. There you go. We have 7. Okay. So here's what I want you to remember. In math or any programming languages, the multiplication and division operators always have a higher priority than addition or subtraction operators. But we can always change the order of these operators using parentheses. So in this case, if we wrap this piece of code with parentheses, first, this piece is evaluated. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 3 is multiplied by 3. So the result is going to be 9. Let's verify it. So run the program one more time. There you go. Okay. Now here's your exercise for this lesson. Take this mathematical expression and implement it in C++. Assume x is 10 and y is 5. So if you implement this correctly, z is going to be 1.3. So pause the video and work on this for a couple minutes, then come back see my solution. All right, here's the solution. I'm going to declare x and set it to 10. Then y, we set it to 5. And for z, first we have to add 10 to x, but we have to wrap this in parentheses because this whole thing is going to be our numerator. Once we have the numerator, then we're going to divide it by 3 times y. But here's the tricky part. We have to wrap this whole expression in parentheses because the result of this expression is going to be our denominator. If we don't use parentheses here, our denominator is going to be 3, and the result is going to be different. So we wrap this whole thing in parentheses, and now let's print z on the terminal. So we should get 1.3. Again, if you didn't solve this properly, don't worry. Don't let that discourage you. Remember, you're a student. You're learning. If you know everything and you could solve every problem, you would be the one teaching, right? So don't let that discourage you, and let's move on to the next lesson.